Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We have some groundbreaking and earth-shattering news for the C8 Z06. You do not want to miss all the details about this major announcement for Z06 allocation that is going to change the entire rollout of the C8 Z06. Additionally, in this video, I want to cover the change that General Motors made from 12 months to 6 months. I'll save that for the end of the video and cover the groundbreaking news first. But everybody rushed to cover the fact that General Motors is changing their 12-month no-sale agreement policy. But I thought it was really cool to share all the details on how that policy change came about, as well as the individual that brought an entire General Motors to reconsider their policy. So first things first, the breaking news is General Motors is halting new C8 Z06 orders through the end of the calendar year. So through the end of 2022, from September 2nd now till the end of the calendar year, there will be no more new 2023 C8 Z06 orders placed. This news is being confirmed over Corvette Blogger as well as the Corvette forums, but it originates from the Chevrolet Global President Scott Bell, in which Chevrolet sent an update to dealers around the Z06 and mentioned that there will be no new orders through the end of the calendar year. The reasoning for this is it allows General Motors to handle the ramp up in production for the new Z06 and to prevent the 2023 situation where dealers had submitted thousands of orders for the Stingray, but they weren't able to meet the production, so they had to carry over orders, cancel orders, modify orders for constraint. To avoid a lot of that, General Motors is making this groundbreaking decision. In the memo from Chevrolet, which I will put up in a screenshot here, General Motors is stating that they are doing this to get the car right. Quite frankly, I am thoroughly shocked by this information. I think it makes sense why they are doing this, but there are so many questions that this raises, including how does allocation for orders already placed work? So for example, I know a lot of big dealerships have only placed orders that they have allocations for, so do they get no more allocations? And my small dealership, who is a fantastic dealership, they have treated me so well. They've sold me my C8 for MSRP, there was no games. It's honestly one of the nicest experiences I've had between Ram dealerships, Ford dealerships, BMW dealerships, Lincoln dealerships. But ultimately they're a small regional dealership, even an hour and a half away from me. And so they've placed 3 orders for the C8 Z06 that I know of, maybe more have been placed. But they don't necessarily have allocations for those 3 orders, so do we now get priority or do we get push behind? There's just so many questions that this raises, but the ultimate news is that General Motors is no longer accepting orders for the Z06 until 2023. Additionally, yesterday there was information that the 12-month agreement for the ownership rules for the Z06 has been changed to 6 months. And for those that are curious, nobody's really covered it, but the reason why this change has been made is because of one loyal Chevrolet and General Motors customer reaching out to corporate and pushing for positive change with senior management. For those that don't know, Soulcy is a very popular and very well-known member of many communities amongst the car forums, including the TRX forums. But a little bit of backstory, I actually was a huge fan of his Escalade, his 2007 to 2014 generation Escalade on the forums. I used to love that car in college when he would post pictures of it, and I always wanted that body style Escalade. Back then he didn't really know me from a hole in the wall, but I actually bought Escalade right after I graduated college. It was probably 8 model years old at that point, and a lot of the things that I did to that car were inspired by Soulcy's build of his Escalade. Fast forward many years, I've had interactions with Soulcy on the Ram TRX forums. Really amazing dude. He's a true automotive enthusiast in the highest standard. And after my interactions with him on the Ram TRX forums, I can say at least he knows that I'm a hole on the wall now, so a little bit of life going in full circle there. But he reached out to the highest entities that be at General Motors and explained his grievances with this 12-month policy and how it ultimately hinders the experience for some of the true General Motors enthusiasts like himself. And I think the biggest and most important bit here is that General Motors reached out to him. There was a lot of conversation. I'll put up a couple screenshots of text messages that they had back and forth between Soulcy and General Motors representatives. But you can see here from a post that he made on the Corvette forums, he's had a lot of vehicles from General Motors and various other brands, including Yukons, Escalades, Corvettes, Cadillacs. and even has on order almost the entirety of this 12-month no-sale contract list of vehicles, such as the Escalade V and the C8 Z06. So Scott Bell, who is a VP for Chevrolet, who actually put out the announcement today that General Motors is no longer accepting C8 Z06 orders for the remainder of this year, is the same person that reached out to Soulcy and had an honest conversation about the C8 Z06 policy. And ultimately, that exchange, Soulcy recommended that they amend the agreement from 12 months to 6 months, and over a small period of time between their conversation to this announcement, General Motors ultimately made that change. And I think this is fantastic because ultimately it speaks to General Motors' commitment to their purest customer base, and I can't think of many more people that I know of that embody the General Motors brand as true brand ambassadors than this forum member. And so that just gives everybody a little bit of detail on the background of where this change from 12 months to 6 months came from. If I had to throw anything in there to this policy, I think General Motors truly should just enforce one thing that will cut out a huge volume of flippers from the C8 Z06. And this is just my idea, so take it with a grain of salt and leave it in the comment section down below if you think my idea doesn't work. But what if General Motors just banned for the first 2 model years of the Z06 anyone that bought a C8 Stingray and sold it within the first 30 days? Think about it, most of the flippers for the Z06 that signed up for Z06 waiting lists for years probably flipped some Stingrays, and you'd be cutting out, I would think, a large volume of those flippers by identifying them from their Stingray transactions, and that would help ensure that the C8 Z06 ends up in the hands of true customers that want to own them. And I said it in my last video, which didn't get a ton of views, but tomorrow or the next day I'm going to be posting a video about a major change to the Jump Squad Auto channel about my current Corvette. And based on this information for the Z06 that takes my 2 months to 2 year window and puts my Z06 probably realistically towards the 2-year mark, I'm really excited with the information I'm going to be sharing in the next couple of days about the channel's Corvette. So definitely hit that subscribe button to stay tuned about the latest and greatest Jump Squad Auto Corvette content. And as always, thank you very much to all that have subscribed. I greatly appreciate all the love and support on helping me cross the 5,000 subscriber mark, which is a huge milestone for the channel as I work my way up to make this channel, brand, and content bigger and better. So that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. If you have not already, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, until the very next video, I look forward to seeing all of you in the comment section below.